What kind of communication can you expect to get from your real estate agent? Well, I can't talk about how other agents work. I can only talk about how I work and how the girls on my team work here at Lauren Zarilla and Associates. I think it's really important to know that with a psychology background, I understand that people communicate in different ways and people don't understand all types of communication. So when I start working with a client, I like to ask them, how do you like to be communicated with? And that is based on, first and foremost, text, email, phone calls. You know, every generation of people these days have a different expectation of what communication is and what they need and what they're available to do. You know, if you're a nurse, you can't always be checking email. If you're sitting in an office, maybe you can. Maybe text is your thing. Text is really, really hard for me, in all honesty, because text is so hard to decipher. I can't tell what people mean when they talk to me. They can't tell what I mean when I talk to them. So I think it's really important to just first identify how you want to be communicated with in a transaction. And I like to do that. I like to ask, how do you like to be communicated with? But my policy for myself and the team is honest, open, and ethical communication. We are hired when we are working with you either to buy or sell a home, to work on your behalf and get you not only what you want in finding a home or selling your home, but to get you to the end table. We are here to be your advocate. We are here to work with you. It's a partner relationship. So to me, you've got to be available and you've got to be open and honest and you need to be ethical. And ethics is another funny thing because sometimes people think one thing is right and we see things gray. You know, that's just the way the world is. So I just like to say, you know, if you're honest and you put everything out there in a professional manner, then nobody should ever have any problems with buyer, seller, or between agents. So if I feel that I have been honest and ethical and have been informative, that is my goal. And I always want my clients to tell me if maybe that is not how they feel. I don't think that we have a lot of communication problems on Lauren Zarilla and Associates because we are out there for you. We are available. So that is the second thing. We're available to you. We work full time. We don't answer calls while we're on appointments unless, you know, the agent maybe says, oh, I'm going to be answering this call. But for the most part, I go into an appointment, I take my cell phone with me because I use the calculator, I use the internet, and I use notes. So I have my phone with me, but I do have it silenced. So if you call me and we're working together, you're not always going to get me to answer, but I will call you back. And I make it a priority to try to get back to everybody the same day. Some days I'm on appointments for 6 hours. And other days I'm only on appointments for 2 hours. So it really just depends what the day looks like. But at the same point, we're available. And anyone who works with me knows that they can reach me and that I will get them back. I am not that agent who you wonder, where is she? Or why hasn't she called me back? What is she doing? We haven't heard from her. That's not me. I like to communicate. I think that solves problems. So I am available to you. I work a lot of hours. I think it's also important to know when I work. I would love to work 5 to 6 days a week. I typically work 7 days a week, but honestly, I don't love that. I feel like in order to be good for you, good for my client, I need a day to refresh. A day where I don't think about real estate, I don't talk about real estate, I'm just taking care of myself, my family, the chores, and just breathing and relaxing. So I like to say that aside from open houses, I take Sundays off. It doesn't happen all the time, but I do work Monday through Friday. I work mornings, evenings, and I am available on Saturdays if I'm needed. So I prioritize what can happen when. And if you work during the day and the only time you can see me as your agent is going to be nights and weekends, then I 100% will make myself available. If you are available 7 days a week, then I'm going to try to meet with you during business hours. I would love to walk away from work at 6 p.m. every single day, but that doesn't always happen either. And I understand, I get it. Like, you get home from work and you're ready to look at the houses that are online, or you're catching up with personal emails. So I do understand, and that's why I do try to make myself available a lot. Now, if you text me late at night or early in the morning, I'm probably not going to respond until a proper time, but I will respond to you. I do communicate through Facebook and Instagram. I do find that really hard though, because if you've got Facebook dinging, Instagram dinging, messages dinging, meaning text, and your phone ringing and emails, that's a lot for people to keep up with. So from a business perspective, I prefer calls, text, or emails. That leads me to the next point. So if you're a listing client, we do market updates for you every week on Mondays when your house isn't selling. And isn't selling that sounds kind of negative. We do it every week. So if you list on a Friday, you don't get a market update that Monday because you just listed. However, we will do a market update the following Monday, and we will start every Monday until the house gets under contract. I like to keep my clients up to date with the market when they're listing. I like them to know what's on the market, what's gone under contract, and what is sold and for how much. So that is something that I make sure you get every single week. I also provide showing feedback. Now, I'm not one of those agents that gives you the feedback once a week in those market updates. I will give you a summary every week. However, as soon as someone leaves your house, I text, call, and email to get the feedback from that agent. And I do understand that when you're showing your house, you are just desperate to get that feedback, and I get it. Agents, because I am a buyer's agent also, we leave your house and we go to the next house, and we might have 4 or 5 houses that we need to provide feedback on. I am a good agent that will give feedback to the houses that I show. It is sometimes very difficult for agents to get the feedback to us though, because they have so many moving parts. So sometimes it takes time. But I like to say I get 9 out of 10 showing feedbacks, and I give it to my clients pretty immediately as long as I get it. Sometimes it does take a few days, but it is very important for me to get that feedback for you. And it's important to give it to you when I get it, not hold it. So I think that's super important, because it is high anxiety when you're showing your house, especially in this market where it takes a little bit longer to sell. You do want to get that feedback. So I understand. Now, if you're a buyer and you're working with me, I understand that when a house goes on the market, even though I just said it takes longer to sell a house, there are properties that are hot properties, and they will go under contract very quickly. So I understand that when you see something, it comes on the market, I've got to be available to get you into that house when you need to see it. Or if you have a challenging schedule and you don't have a lot of availability, I find it really important to make myself available for you when you're available. And again, that comes back to the availability piece when I talked about earlier. I need to know when you're available. I need to know how you like to communicate so that I can get you in, so that I know, ooh, this house went on the market. I don't think he or she's going to be able to see it for another 24 hours. Let me keep that kind of open for them in case they want to see it. It's really important to have an honest communication back and forth. I can't work for my clients the way I want to if I don't understand what's going on in their minds or their hearts, and I don't understand their goals. So it's very important for me to have that open relationship and understand that piece about you. I think that that makes the job more rewarding, makes me feel better about what I'm doing. And I kind of lead with that with everything I do. What are your goals? How am I going to help you get there? And then communicate with you in order to get you there. I think communication is so important in this position and other positions, but at the same point, communication is what makes the world go round. It makes people happy or not happy. So I am here for you. I want to be an agent that is available and communicative and informative. I'm that agent, and the agents on our team are like that. So give me a call if you'd like some more information about how we work or buying or selling a home. Thanks so much.